This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, whatever time it is with you and wherever you are. Thank you for downloading this SmackDown review. It's part of the WWE podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have you listening along once again. I am Amanda, your host of the SmackDown review, and I'm back. Let's have a look back really quickly at Survivor Series and Saturday night's main event before we kick off the SmackDown review. So Survivor Series, first of all, in the Women's War Games match, as predicted, the face team won, and we got a Liv return. Fair enough, not in this match, but still Liv is back, and that is pretty awesome. The Men's War Games match, we got a win for the heel team, and in the Women's Championships, which was Stephanie versus Nikki Bella, again, as predicted, a win for Vacker. The Intercontinental Championship, a win for Dom, and he is the champ again, as it should be. A quick look back at Saturday night's main event card. And we had Cody and Obafemi, which ended in a DQ finish. This wasn't a surprise, but still such a disappointment as it was an excellent match. Bloody Drew, I am completely sick of him. Sol Ruka versus Bayley. Bayley did an awesome job of putting over Sol Ruka, and she takes the win. Thankfully, no shenanigans from Zarya, and we ended very sportingly and with a nice nod to Cena at the end of their match as well. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee retain the tag team titles, and then finally our main event and Cena's last match, which was against Gunther, was for me as disappointing as I'd feared it would be. Cena tapped and the crowd absolutely crashed. Triple H got his arse handed to him by the crowd, and I hated this. In my opinion, an absolute disgrace of a last opponent for one of the greats of our time. And if I was Cena, I would be raging, but I would probably take comfort in sleeping on my piles of money. But I feel like here, WWE have just simply let Cena down. I've got nothing more to say other than just big, massive, fat disappointment and a disgrace. Anyway, let's get to it and review the SmackDown that aired on December 19th from, I'm not completely sure where. I think this is another pre-tape for Christmas, which is obviously fine. Everyone wants to be with their families at Christmas. But we start off with a look back at Saturday night's main event. I thought it was really nice to see Steph on the desk with Joe Tess, and thankfully no sign of Vince, which was rumoured to happen for Cena's last match, so all good there. Up tonight, looks like we're going to have a focus on Cody, and apparently, I hadn't realised this because I haven't been really around social media very much, but apparently Cody attacked Drew this week in his home. We've also got the MFTs facing the Wyatt Six for the tag titles later on. First out tonight, though, we've got Damian Priest and a recap on last week's match between the Terror Twins and Alistair and Zelina, which Damien and Rhea, the Terror Twins, won. And as an FYI, we're in Hershey, which I think we were for Raw this week, so this must have been filmed after this week's Raw show. These fans must be knackered after pulling the double shift, so not expecting big things from the crowd tonight. Damien starts off by thanking the crowd for the energy. He says he knows the last few days were not easy. He says at Saturday night's main event, they were forced to say goodbye to the career of Cena. The crowd boo. And Damien says he agrees with that sentiment. He says that Cena is the greatest of all time. He thanks Cena. The crowd join in, and that was a nice thing. He says, let's talk about good times like last Friday when Alistair and Zelina got their asses drummed by the Terror Twins. He says that now that business is handled, he moves on to talk about what will happen in 2026. Before he can start, we get Zelina out. She calls him a hypocrite and says, does he really think that Rhea involved makes him a real man? She says that you didn't even get the pin. She says you can't stand the fact that Black broke you. She says you made your decision and now you have to live with it. She brings out Black, who attacks Damien from behind, but thankfully Damien fights back, gets the upper hand, and ends up giving South of Heaven to Black on the ring apron. And he then goes on to take around 10 years to set up the table, allowing Black to come back and put Damien through the table with double knees off of the apron. Okay, so let's talk about this. How many times are we going to have these two go round and round? We have had them every which way, and I don't understand why creative are continuing with this. The mixed match was, in my opinion, a perfect end to this feud, but really, I think it should have allowed both of these guys to move on to new feuds. But no, here we are again, going once more with this. I think this is one of the things that annoys me most about the Triple H era. He doesn't seem to be very good at ending things. Anyway, clearly we continue, and I hate it. I want Priest to have another title run, any title. He so deserves it. And Black needs to move on, get himself another opponent as well. We go backstage where Byron has Lash and Nia dressed as Christmas wrapping paper or something. Now, pause a moment. Nia and Lash are stood there waiting for Byron to interview them. I mean, they are literally waiting for an interview with the guy who is going to interview them. And when he goes to ask them the first question, they act like they are surprised that he's there and that they're annoyed, and we get the whole eye-rolling thing. And honestly, I think Nia and Lash, I don't really care what you've got to say. So if you don't want to be interviewed, ta-ta, goodbye. Anyway, Byron asks about the upset victory on Bliss last week. Nia gets salty at that and says it wasn't an upset. Lash says no matter how good Bliss is, she was whipping her little tail up and down the ring because that's what she does, and now they're moving on. Nia says they will annihilate the Kabuki Warriors and become tag champs. Byron points out that Rhea and Io have a tag team title match, and Nia tells Byron it doesn't matter who has the titles, they are coming for them. Now, you all know that I don't have a lot of time for Nia. I can't get past the fact that her poor skills actually injure people in real life, and that it can only possibly be her Nepo baby status. That's clearly the only thing that keeps getting her rehired. So in my opinion here, and it's probably definitely not neutral, these two together just give me huge Mean Girls Playground bully vibes, and I don't like it. It feels ever so slightly Divas era ick. Just my opinion. And hey, no doubt, Lash Legend is brilliant. All the flowers to her. But with Nia, just not for me. That match is coming up now. So we've got the Kabuki Warriors facing Lash and Nia. Perhaps we're going to see some interference from Bliss or Flair. Maybe Rhea or Io. Before that match, though, we've got Damien being helped backstage by the producers. He is selling the damage done by Black. He's attacked again from behind by Black, who wallops him in the head with a snow shovel. Black is screaming that he will decide when it's done. And he delivers a black mass to Priest into the roller doors. So, yeah, clearly we continue that one. Black being made to look like an absolute monster. I'm really not a fan of Zelina just as an onlooker screaming. She can do more than that. But yeah. Hashtag I despair. Anyway, back to the ladies' tag match. And Lash and Nia join the Kabuki Warriors in the ring. This one kicks off with Kairi and Lash. Lash using her power game, but Kairi outmaneuvering her early on, but she gets absolutely poleaxed by Lash, who tags in Nia. Asuka in with Nia now, who's doing well until Nia ends her rally with a headbutt. We get some significant double teams and interferences from both sides, and it finishes as Nia hits the Annihilator on Kairi and takes the win. The crowd seemed to be totally underwhelmed by the whole thing. I was just thinking to myself, well, they must be knackered. They've pulled a double shift. But then we get a huge cheer as Bliss and Flair run out to face off with Nia and Lash. So clearly it's not a tiredness or fatigue thing. It is a they're really not that arsed about Nia and Lash thing. Flair and Bliss come into the ring. Some excellent teamwork, managed to clear out Nia and Lash. Bliss almost getting to hit Twisted Bliss on Lash, but she's pulled out of the ring by Nia to absolutely huge boos. Little sidebar here, just some thoughts from me, and you may or may not agree, but it's my show, say what I like. Did you guys ever see the YouTube clip of one of Nia's many botches? This particular one was on Kairi. Nia has Kairi up on her shoulders, set up for a buckle bomb, and you can hear Kairi screaming to Nia, "I'm not set, I'm not set." You can hear that over the crowd noise on the TV. It's just a standard YouTube clip. Nia carries on and delivers the move anyway, resulting in her causing another injury. I'm not sure how long Kairi was out after that. It may have even been the time where she decided to sack off WWE and go home. My point is that I admire these ladies a lot for stepping into the ring with Nia, having had first-hand experience of how bad she is. Personally, if I was Kairi, I would have taken tonight off as a sickie. So anyway, the tag team stuff continues to grow and get more and more interesting, and that's cool, because we're going to need all the belts with strong stories as we head towards the horror that is the 3-hour SmackDown again in January. Backstage now with Jackie, a new face to the show. They've clearly just used all of the Raw guys rather than bringing in any of our usual SmackDown folk, and that's fine. It makes total sense. We've also got the Raw commentators running the show for us tonight as well. So we're backstage with Jackie. She's got Kiana James and Julia. She asked Julia how she feels about having to face Alba Fire in order to get a title shot against Chelsea. She says she will go through Alba, tells Chelsea that time is running out. We then go to Nick Aldis, who is with a bunch of police, and he's at Drew's house. And Nick says that he's bought the cameras and the police to ensure that Drew can't misrepresent anything that gets said in this meeting. They sit down together and Nick thanks Drew for inviting him into his home. He says that given the stunt he pulled in DC, he wonders why he's here, but Cody wants him reinstated, so does everyone else as one of the top talents on SmackDown. He's here with a proposal. He says he thinks Drew will like it. Nick says that Drew will get a title match with Cody, but he says in return he needs to give a public apology to the official that he took out, and there'll be a massive fine. Nick says he can take it or leave it. Drew says he gets his title match, which is what he wants more than anything, but he says he doesn't accept. He says this is what Cody wants, and that Nick has created an unsafe working environment. He says if he accepts the terms, he will get screwed again. Nick says that instead of another monologue, why doesn't he just say what he wants? And Drew tells him what he wants is that he wants it to be fair. He says if he comes back, he wants a title match, and he wants to pick the stipulation, and he wants to get it from legal. That if Cody lays a finger on him before the match, he will be stripped of the title. Nick agrees to the terms. I find that baffling. I mean, I would let just Drew stew at home, run down his contract like you do with footballers who piss the manager off. But anyway, Nick says that he will have the documents by the end of the day. And then Drew goes to his phone and sees on his Ring doorbell camera or whatever it is that Cody is here. He goes rushing out and they start to brawl on the driveway. We then get Nick backstage with Byron. Nick says the whole thing is out of hand. SmackDown is without one of its biggest stars. He says Cody's also out of line and that it's in the hands of the local authorities. He's interrupted by The Miz, to massive boos by the way, who asks for a match with Joe Hendry next week. Nick agrees and makes the match, and that was a weird, shoehorned in very brief and fleeting moment, which I'm not completely sure I understand, but still happy to see Joe Hendry getting some exposure. I know DJ Kuzmo will be happy to see him featuring on the main roster, so that's good. So back to the Drew Cody thing, which is clearly brewing. Will we see a Drew title run out of this? I think it seems quite likely by now. Maybe Drew will carry the belt into Mania. Either way, it's nice to see a meaner, more ruthless side to Cody for sure. Next up, we have Julia versus Alba Fire match, and I think this is in order to get to Chelsea and have a title shot. And this one kicks off, and these two seem pretty evenly matched. Com's telling us that this is Julia's first match since she lost the title in early November, which seems staggering for someone so recently called up to the main roster. So this one is short and sweet. Predictably, Julia takes the win, hitting the Arrivederci kick and hitting a suplex, getting the cover. Afterwards, we get Julia intimidating Chelsea and being held back by Keanu James. Not sure if it's official yet or whether or not that win has won Julia a title match, but I'm sure we will be advised as soon as possible. I do like Chelsea, and the stuff she's been doing with Alba is great. I don't know if or when Piper Niven is coming back. I do hope so, though, because these three are great together. I would love to see the two titles that Chelsea has to be left on her for a decent run. She deserves it. Julia and Kiana, back to them. So having heard Julia on the mic, I now actually fully understand why she has been given someone to talk for her. She's a great talent, so I hope once the Chelsea feud is in the books, they move her on to something decent, maybe even push her up to one of the main titles. Backstage now, and we've got Cody making his way to the ring. Before that, though, we get a spooky wookie video vignette to Solo from the Wyatts. They tell him truth lies beneath the surface, and the image he portrays is going to put him and his family into a whole new world of abandonment, and they will be forced to surrender. Out of the ring, Cody makes his entrance and asks what they want to talk about. He says yes, he went to Drew's home, and yes, a member of law enforcement ended up in the water. He says things got physical, but he says that Drew has said that WWE is an unsafe working environment. He says that's all of us. And he asked Drew what he feels would be a safe environment for him, perhaps Staples, which was quite a cool line. He says that the yard brawl was 1/10 of what would happen right here, right now in this ring. We then get Nick out. He's having a busy night. He tells Cody that he doesn't appreciate the situation he's put himself and the company in, as Drew is claiming an unsafe work environment, and they know it's a load of crap. But the problem is, when Cody showed up at his house, he proved his point and forced Nick to make a bad deal. Nick tells him that he's not above the law and he should have trusted him. When Drew comes back, Cody definitely can't lay a finger on him. Cody says, or what? And Nick tells him that would mean he would need to strip him of the title. Cody promises that he won't touch Drew, but asks Nick if he has forgotten who he's talking to. He goes through all his accomplishments, and he tells Nick that he is QB1. He says as long as he has the title, he is the law. He says while he has the title, he works for the fans, and Nick works for him. Now, I really like this. This is a little bit Healy, but only against the man, which is, quite cool. We like that. I like it. Tough Cody is great. And I personally have not seen this side of him before, and I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah, a meaner, tougher Cody is much more fun. Backstage, we have Mello. He's approached by Dragunov, who thanks him for what he did last week. Mello says he doesn't play jumping people from behind. Dragunov says not anymore anyway. So that's fair. We have had a rather dramatic switch from heel Mello to face Mello, but that's fine. And we're getting Mello teaming with Dragunov against DIY tonight. Fraxium come over to wish them luck and to tell them that they wanted DIY too. Dragunov says that Ciampa isn't just a jackass, he's now his prey, which was quite a cool line too. We kick off with all four men in the ring. We get Mello and Dragunov coming out on top early as they decimate Ciampa in the corner. We get some shenanigans from DIY as Candice distracts the ref, leading to Dragunov's jaw bouncing off the announce desk in a Really, really gnarly looking move. Mello just about kicks Ciampa's head off, and it legit looked like Ciampa lost some teeth. If you watch it back, maybe slow it down, there's definitely something white flying out of Ciampa's mouth. It might just have been spit, but still, it looked cool. Candice interferes on the outside and leads to a close cover from DIY, but this one ends as Dragunov hits the H-bomb. Mello hits an absolutely massive nothing but net. Mello gets the cover and the win for Dragunov and Mello. This was a fantastic match, really enjoyable. Both teams did great. I have to ask, is there anything that Ilya Dragunov can't do? He is quickly becoming my favourite wrestler, and Mello as more of a face role is an absolute delight. Backstage now to Flair and Bliss, who are approached by Jackie, and she asks for a comment on why they attacked Nia and Lash. I mean, duh. Bliss says that they shouldn't look too far ahead. She says that whoever wins the titles on January 5th should know that Flair and Bliss are waiting. We get a random appearance from Jade, and Jackie asks her about attacking Michin. She says that she was shocked to see her get back up. She says as it's the season, she will let her have the spotlight, and then she will knock her back down. She is then attacked from behind by Michin with the kendo stick. So rewind back to the Flair, Bliss, Nia, Lash, Rhea, Io tag picture. I am loving it. I think we might see Rhea and Io take the titles and face Bliss and Flair down the line. But it's all pretty good. Next week's SmackDown is shaping up really nicely, and we get some of the matches announced. We've got going to get Miz and Joe Hendry, which is quite cool. I'm looking forward to seeing Joe Hendry. Solo cuts a promo, talking promo backstage, telling Howdy he doesn't play games when it comes to his family. He says the MFTs are going to embarrass him in front of the whole world. He says the Fireflies are going to see him take the titles because he has the whole world in his hands, which is a obvious direct Bray quote, which should at least spice things up a bit, as if it needed any extra spicing up. That match is now the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six for the tag titles. So we've got Tonga Loa and JC Mateo representing the MFTs, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis for the Wyatt Six. And as this one kicks off, we've got Dexter in charge early on with some awesome moves. The MFTs take control as JC hits a power slam and gets a long 2 count on Lumis. The crowd are chanting for the OTC, which, sorry Hershey, seems a little bit unlikely. We've got some brilliant moves from Joe Gacy. He is pretty awesome. I really wish we got to see these Wyatt Six guys wrestle more often. I don't know why we don't, but I'd love to see it. We get some shenanigans from Talatonga, and that is the catalyst that kicks off a massive brawl with everyone involved, and it all breaks down, and the ref calls for the bell, ending things in a DQ finish, meaning the Wyatts retain, and the crowd chanting, "Let them fight," doesn't show any signs of stopping at all. We get Eric Rowan and Talatonga left in the ring, and Rowan manages to get the upper hand, also picking up Nikki, chucking her over the top ropes to take out Talatonga in what comms have called a Nikki bomb, which was a pretty cool looking move, and the sight of teeny tiny Nikki being picked up by ginormous Rowan just tickled me. I found that really fun. And all in all, what a super fun main event. Really enjoyed it. All in all, a pretty great show, actually. On the old Netflix timeline, this only came up as an hour and 20 minutes. So we didn't get any of the usual hype for, whatever PLE's coming up or WWE Shop or whatever we normally get. I don't know how it televises to you guys over in the States, but we only had an hour and 20 minutes, which at this time of year is fine by me. So much to do. So yeah, pretty great show. Plenty of action, loads of wrestling, which is surely the point of a wrestling show. So that's all good. Particularly the Drew and Cody thing actually shaping up quite nicely. We've got next week's show already looking good too before the dreaded return to 3 hours. But hey, let's travel. Hopefully that the storytelling will be excellent and the wrestling will be out of this world and the 3 hours really doesn't hit too hard. So I guess we are now sort of shifting over to kind of pre-WrestleMania season, I guess. We're going to have the Rumble will be here before we know it, and that's obviously going to be in Saudi this year, which probably changes things significantly. I believe that they are going to, they've said that they're really going to struggle to keep the normal level of secrecy around who's coming out, just logistically, I guess, because of travel and, you know, everyone being a paparazzi these days with their camera phones. So I have heard and I believe that the run-up to the Rumble will, that's where they'll do their surprises, which is cool for us. And again, will probably gives a bit of explanation as to why they've decided to return SmackDown to 3 hours, because hopefully there'll be slightly more storytelling there. So we've had a couple of good returns. Obviously over on Raw then we've got Liv. We are still waiting for any sight of Randy. We're still waiting for any sight of Bianca Belair. Haven't actually heard any news on where or how Bianca Belair's recovery is coming on. But all in all, not too bad. So to all those who celebrate, I wish you a very Merry Christmas. For all those that don't, I hope you are able to hunker down and get through the festive season unscathed. I will be drunk from Christmas Eve to Boxing Day because that's how we do it. So that just about does it for this week's show. It's absolutely brilliant to be back with you all. Thank you to Daniel for covering the show the last few weeks. I'm sure it was nice to have a different perspective on things. And I listened in and thought it was absolutely fantastic. Thank you for having me in your ears once again. Remember, till next time, be kind and a very Merry Christmas.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.